wild things you may not know about USA healthcare. Let's get into it. I find that people in the UK really don't get it. Well, you wouldn't get it, would you? You've never had to experience it. So yeah, let's get into it. I think a lot of people in the UK and kind of around the world kind of think that once you pay your premiums every month, that's you sorted then. So you go to doctors and hospitals and go for treatments or whatever, and that's paid for because you've paid your premium every month. Couldn't be further from the truth. It's like a country club. So a country club, you pay your premiums, your country club payment every month to then have the privilege to pay more. Right? So you pay your premiums every month. You know, that can range from, my gosh, companies usually match you. If it's a huge corporation, they usually match you. Meaning if it's $500 a month, you maybe only have to pay $250. That multiplies and triplifies. If you have, your husband on, or if you have your partner on, you have kids, it can be huge. Anyway, so sometimes the companies match you. If you're a small business, you don't get matched and you pay yourself out of pocket. And that's one of my biggest concerns about moving back, because my husband and I are both self-employed. Anyway, not here to talk about me. So the premiums just allow you the opportunity to pay more money. So when you go to the doctor, you're still going to have what? A copay. So my doctor, it was a pay before you're seen situation. You don't pay, you're out the door. It doesn't matter if you come crawling in, you're going to pay first. We have credit card machines at the window, and you must pay before you're seen. Those copays can differ. Again, it depends on it. Some people have great plans, and there'll be people in my comment section that'll say, I have a great plan. Wonderful. Good for you. I've had great plans in America, and I've had really bad plans when I worked for smaller businesses because they can't afford them. They can afford these great plans that these corporations can afford. Anyway, my copay for my doctor at the time, and I was on a great plan, was $25. So $25 every time I went to the doctor to be paid before you're seen. Also, I had quite low hospital copays. So I had an emergency room copay. So I had to pay, even in an emergency room situation, $100 before I could be seen in the emergency room. As long as you're able to talk, they will take you to accounting before they take you back. I can attest to that. That may not be your lived experience. That is mine. If you can talk and string a sentence together, you will go to the accounting department and give your insurance details and make sure you're insured, make sure you pay that copay before you're wheeled back for surgery. I'm not kidding you. They're going to get their money. Also, ambulances, we do pay for ambulances. Now, not always. Again, if you have a great plan, fine, you may be completely covered. I had a situation where I went in, I thought I was having a heart attack. It ends up it was anxiety. Because it wasn't what I said it was, because it wasn't, it was deemed by the insurance company to not be covered. Right? So they can do this. If they think that your emergency isn't an emergency, regardless of what you think it was. So say you think you go in for food poisoning, it ends up that you just had a bit of constipation. The insurance company is going to say, not paying for it. Right. So, I ended up with a bill for $900 for this ambulance because they didn't deem it an emergency. So they're not going to pay for it. So, and you kind of don't know these things till after the fact, right? So you've had whatever you've had done. The insurance can come back. Pre-existing conditions as well. That one is a stickler. So say you're 5 years old and you have, you've had issues with you've had issues with your leg since you were 5 years old. Right? You've had issues with your leg. You're then 25 years old. You go, to work at a company, you get insurance. And this situation with your leg crops back up. It hasn't cropped back up for a long time. It crops back up. You need a surgery. Not covered because that's a pre-existing condition. that was identified when you were 5 years old before you got on that insurance plan, it won't be paid for. It is shocking. Be grateful for the NHS. I know the wait times can be crazy, right? I know that that they are completely understaffed, overworked and underpaid, all the things. But just be grateful that it's there. Be grateful that it's there. And it's not the staff. It comes from a higher place. Anyway, so I hope that's enlightening.